Hi all, I hope you're doing superbly well, and I hope the start to 2023 has been what you expected. I have to start this year with another rant. For months now, there's been a raging debate online around Canon's decision to ban third parties from producing RF mount lenses for its mirrorless cameras. Most opinions are indignantly outraged that Canon should make that decision, and pros and hobbyists alike have vowed to abandon Canon with their next purchase. In fact, some already have. Well, unlike the majority, I am totally, 100% in agreement with Canon's decision. Canon made the right decision for the right reasons at the right time. Before you hit that comment button to tell me how wrong I am, why not consider subscribing to my channel so that we can have more of these fun and useful debates? I post my rants somewhat regularly, and I know that you don't want to miss them. Haha. Anyway, let's really tease apart this problem. The R series of cameras was first released by Canon in 2018 with the Canon EOS R body. A couple of variants of this were released in the next couple of years, but things really took off in 2020 with the release of the Canon EOS R5, followed, in quick succession maybe, by the R6, R3, R7, and most recently the R10. There will soon be announcements for the R8 and supposedly, shortly, an R50. In those early years, the lenses released were high-end L-series lenses, typically fast, with prices out of range for most of us hobbyists. But we could all adapt our existing EF mount glass to these new bodies and get performance that was good, if not perfect, when compared to the new RF equivalents. The mirrorless domain is new territory for all camera makers, except maybe Sony, who has been in this game for over a decade. The others had to invest huge R&D dollars to create equipment that would truly represent the next generation of image making, and they didn't always get it right. We all know the stories of problems encountered with those early models. The problems included everything from poor ergonomics to viewfinder blackout to excessive noise, wobbles, and other artifacts in images and video. And of course, that Canon overheating thing, remember that? This new technology requires a completely new set of electronics, everything from processors to motors to the communication channels between components. Everything is a new design. There really is no way to get it 100% right and to still meet a reasonable release date. Product life cycles have shrunk from what used to be a decade to now 1 to 2 years. Apple doesn't get it right. Samsung doesn't get it right. Neither did Canon. As with everyone else, Canon has addressed that not getting it right through firmware updates. Many firmware updates galore. These updates correct unanticipated problems and provide features that they just didn't have time to fully test before the initial release. And that's where I want to start with Canon's story, at least my story of Canon as a Canon owner. As the owner of an EOS R5 purchased in 2020, I know with certainty that they didn't get it right out of the gate, and that they've been working to remedy that situation through these firmware updates. So why in heaven's name would they release technology to third parties that they are still working on now? They wouldn't. They shouldn't. And that's my first point. It isn't yet time to share that with third parties. Second, also, as that owner of the R5, I know how seamlessly my RF lenses work with that body and the benefits in having both lenses and body from the same company. Electronics are so finely tuned now that you can't get the same performance, I would respectfully suggest, without a commitment from a company to make things exactly the same. We already know that third-party lens makers don't make things exactly the same. often offering products that fit the mount but don't include one or more of the automated functions such as fast accurate autofocus or any autofocus at all. In my view, if Canon was to release its technology copyright, these third-party lens makers just won't make their product to take full advantage of the new technology, even if they know what it is. The selling price that they're after won't allow them to take full advantage of it. That's my second point. Canon perhaps did make a flawed decision in releasing only high-end glass initially, but they are now remedying that situation big time. Instead of f2.8 or faster glass, I waited until they released f4 versions of the same lenses. I saved a bunch of money, I saved a lot of size and weight, and I have that benefit in my kit as well. There are also now consumer-grade lenses available in so many focal lengths and maximum apertures, covering almost everything that a pro to a prosumer to a hobbyist to a weekender might need. I really don't understand why third-party lenses are needed at all. And that's my third point. And lastly, Canon also made it possible to adapt not only their EF mount lenses, but all EF mount lenses made by anyone else to their R-series bodies. Whatever functions you had with the original glass should be, and I think are always, available with the adapted glass. But in the same way as a USB 3 port gives faster performance when matched with a USB 3 device and slower performance when matched with a USB 2 device, adapted lenses are the same. Autofocus and aperture will not behave the exact same way as they would with native lenses made for that new mount. You can still get good performance, and optically the image quality will be exactly the same, if not better, than when matched with an older body, but it will not be top-of-the-line RF performance. But here's the thing. If you want cheaper, you get what you pay for. For many, that trade-off makes complete sense. It should make complete sense. And that's my fourth and final point. I'm frankly baffled why so many are indignant and threatening to leave Canon as soon as they can. I've switched camera systems before, not because of an angry dispute though, and let me tell you, it is not cheap. Those who threaten to do so, or have done so already, maybe should do the math and not cut off their noses to spite their faces. Seems like a bit of an uninformed decision to me, quite frankly. My Canon R5, with its matched set of f4 RF lenses and one matched super zoom that starts at f4.5, are the best photographic investment I have ever made. I could not be happier. I had to save up for these lenses. I wasn't indignant that I could not get them cheap or as soon as they were released. I also got rid of one third-party EF adapted lens that did not perform well enough for me. But that doesn't mean that I don't and won't use third-party lenses. I have a Lens Baby specialty fully manual lens, as well as a couple of older Canon EF mount specialty lenses. In all three cases, they are there for the optics and the image quality, not for the electronics and the full performance on the RF mount. That's a meaningful trade-off for me. So, let's give our heads a shake and find something really important to share. Canon is still the #1 camera maker in the world, in most markets anyway, and I both applaud their astute decisions and look forward to their new advancements to come. And if you ever need a tester for some of that new technology, Canon, don't hesitate to get in touch. Oh, and by the way, Nikon has just announced a similar decision, limiting the production of third-party Z-mount lenses only to those that, as they say, complement their existing lineup. An interesting decision that ensures that they can continue to sell product while at the same time responding to complaints that they can't produce enough of that product. Now you have a choice. Wait for original Canon, wait for original Nikon, or get something close but not the same. Thank you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again really soon.